Welcome back to Smoky Ribs. I'm Russ Jones. As you can tell from the intro, we went crabbing, and man, did we do good. I've got in front of me the ice chest, and we're holding around 2 dozen. I didn't count them, but it's more than enough crabs to do what I'm wanting to do today. What I'm doing is a recipe that dates way, way back. I'm in my late 50s, and my earliest memories of growing up was Dad, my father. He would be on the phone ordering stuffed crabs, and he would load me up in the car. So let's go for a ride. We'd run up the road there, probably a couple miles from where we lived, and there was this little place, little block building, had a little slide window on the side just where you could drive through. My dad would drive through, and they would open the window and he would pay for it, and they would hand him over 2 boxes. These boxes looked identical to the white donut boxes, like if you go to a bakery and order a dozen donuts. But what was inside these boxes was some of the best stuffed crabs you've ever tasted. And I'm going to be doing something similar to that today, but what I'm doing, instead of just stuffed crabs with crab meat, I'm also incorporating shrimp. I'm going to be doing shrimp and crab cream sauce on top of that. Let's go ahead and get busy. Let me show you how it's done. So I've got all my crabs. We've got to cook these crabs to where we can pull the meat out, and we're going to do these just like any other crab boil. We're going to go in with some powder seasonings. Going to go in with our liquid crab boil. This is one of the flow through crab boil mixes here. About a tablespoon and a half of salt. So I have put all my seasonings in. I am returning back to a boil, as you can see. Now from here, we're just simply just going to go ahead and throw our crabs in. I have close to 2 dozen. I think I'm a little short on that, but we're going to go ahead and drop these in. I'm not on a high-powered burner like I normally do outside, so these are probably going to take around 15-20 minutes before they're done to return back to a boil. All right, here's the last one. 2 claws that broke off. All right, we'll bring you back just as soon as these are done. All right, our crabs are all boiled. I season these just like I would if I was going to do a crab boil and eat just the crabs to enhance this recipe. So I'm going to take this one. It just happens to be a male, and we're going to be, you know, it's a hard thing to do, but you've got to actually pick all the meat out of these. But if you know how to pick meat, it's really not that big of a deal. So we're going to remove this. This is their sex plate, or their apron is sometimes called. This is a male, and if you'll look right here, I'll show you a female. This is a female. Her plate looks like this. These things right here actually help retain the eggs when she's carrying eggs. All right, so what we want to do now is remove this top shell. You want to reserve this. This is what we're going to be using to make our stuffed crabs with. Now at this point, remove your claws, and this crab has already lost 1 claw. All right, look at that meat right there. That's some of the meat we can reserve right from the get-go. All right, there's meat inside the claw as well. Now you want to take and remove these dead man fingers. These are also actually lungs, but people refer to them as dead man fingers because they're really not edible. They're not poisonous, as I was taught as a young child, but you don't want to eat them. They're nasty. All right, remove the mouth. Now, these 2 swimmer fins here in the back, they have cavities in here. See these black lines? From here to here is your lump crab meat. Okay, that's your most cherished meat out of a crab. We're going to take a knife and we're going to cut these flippers off. We're going to sever this as well. Do the other side. And this one. Now, very easily, all you do is you take right here and you push in till you hear it break. You pull this back, and that exposes your channels of meat. There will be some on this top shell, this top plate, as you see here. But first, we're going to dig into the individual channels This is your lump crab meat right here. You can take your finger or a knife or whatever and remove this. So we're going to dig all this out. This yellow stuff is also referred to as mustard. It's very flavorful. If you happen to have some of that in your crab meat, don't sweat it. It tastes good. It's pure flavor. All right, we're also going to be utilizing the meat within these claws. This meat is darker in looks. It's got a sweeter taste to it. Really, really good. What you want to do is back off just a little bit behind this joint right here. Sharp knife, just barely hit it. Just cut through some. Like that. Hope I didn't go too far. Pull it out, all in one piece. There you go. Now from there, we just simply pull the meat off. We'll add it to our pile of meat. All right, now there's also meat in this part of the claw. Picking crabs takes some practice and some experience, but you end up with some really delicious meat. There you go. We're going to add this to the pile. I am going to take and do the rest of these crabs, and I'll bring you back when we're getting ready to put this stuffing together for these crabs. All right, I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're on a medium heat. We're going to be sauteing bell pepper, celery, and onion. I've got 1 whole bell pepper, 1/2 of a large onion, and 1 stalk of celery. This is a Cajun Trinity. It is used in almost any Cajun dish and actually dishes all along the coastal area here. We're going to let this saute for around 5 minutes until they begin to get tender and translucent on the onions. Now at this point, what you do want to do is season this. Got some sea salt going in. Cracked black pepper. Point, we're going to add in 3 cloves of garlic minced. We're going to let this go just maybe 30 seconds to a minute just to let that garlic release its aroma and its oils and its flavor. When you can smell that garlic and it's real pronounced, you have went long enough. Now this next ingredient, there again, is strictly to taste. This is cayenne pepper. That is around a teaspoon. Let's let that cook for just a second to release its flavors. All right, now at this point, if you have a seafood stock, you could add about 1/4 cup. Well, I do have seafood stock, but what I'm adding to it is the very thing that the crab's cooked in. This is the crab boil mixture, going in with about 1/4 cup. Oh man, yeah. Smell that. Maybe just a touch more. All right, now 1 pound. These are Gulf shrimp. They are small. All right, now while the shrimp is sauteing, what I also have is around, I don't know, teaspoon or tablespoon of fresh thyme. I got that out of my herb garden. Gonna add just a little bit of that flavor in there as well. This is a labor of love, but here it is. This is all the claw meat and the white lump and all the meat from the crabs that we caught. And it goes. Now this already cooked in that crab boil, so it's somewhat seasoned. Now that shrimp that I added in, it hadn't seen any seasoning, so I am going to add just a touch of salt, touch of black pepper, and some more cayenne. Let's give all this a good mix, stir it all in. Try not to break up your crab meat no more than you have to. All right, we're going to go about an additional 5 minutes. Then from there, we're going to add the binder, which is nothing more but breadcrumbs. Eggs is not needed for this recipe. Now, if I was making crab cakes, you would in fact need breadcrumbs plus eggs. For this much crab meat and shrimp, I would say at least 3 eggs. So at this stage, what you really want to do is check your seasoning and make sure you're good. We're going to get a little bit of crab, a little shrimp. Let me get this a taste. Loads of flavor, and that crab boil water that I actually cooked the crabs in is shining through. All right, so at this stage, what we're going to do is we're going to take some panko breadcrumbs, and I'm just eyeballing this. We're going to start with that. We're going to see how we look. That was around 3/4 cup. That's probably about 1/3 to 1/2 cup. And that's it. That's all I'm putting in. All right, we got these shells. We're fixing to stuff them. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this stuff in here. We're going to take one of our shells and we're just going to pack it in there. You talk about good. Try to stuff these all the way back into the tips right here. Then pile it up a little bit on top. We have plenty, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I think we can hold a little bit more here. And it's going to look something just like that. I'm going to go ahead and get all of these stuffed. And from here, I'm just going to put them in the fridge long enough for me to start a sauce that is going to go on top. It's going to be a shrimp and crab cream sauce. These are actually going out on the grill, the grill dome to be exact, and we're going to cook them out there. Not going to be adding any smoke. These are delicate flavors with the crab and the shrimp, and they just don't take smoke real well, but I do want to cook them with just the charcoal. So we'll be back. All right, what I've got here is 1.5 sticks of butter. This is unsalted butter, and the reason you want unsalted is because you have a host of seasonings going in. If you want a complete recipe on everything going into this shrimp cream sauce, please visit our website. It will be up. What you want to do is cook these seasonings into this butter for about a minute. Let them release all their flavors. All right, now into this, I've added all the heads and all the shells from the shrimp that I cleaned earlier that went into the stuffing for the blue crab, the stuffed blue crabs. I've got my heat turned back to high. And you want to really almost not brown this, but close. You're really wanting it to sizzle and saute, and it gives it kind of a nutty flavor. It's really going to release that shrimp flavor. We're going to let this go for around 10 minutes. All right, I'm about 5 minutes in. We're going to go ahead and put 4 cloves of garlic. Now these are big chunks. It don't matter because we're going to be running this through a strainer here in a little bit, getting rid of all the heads and any big particles. All right, we're gonna go another 5 minutes. All right, now what I got going in, I've got 4 ounces of this Louisiana spice. It's made by Abita Beer. Picked this up over in Louisiana. I realize most people are not gonna be able to find this. You can use your favorite beer. It does not have to be this, but I found it, I'm gonna use it. So what I've got is I've got 4 ounces of that and 2 ounces of Worcestershire mixed together. We're going in with that. All right, we're back up to a simmer. What I'm going to add at this point is some heavy cream. I'm going to start off with a 1/2 pint. This could be enough, maybe not. All right, I think I'm going to go in with about another 1/2 pint of heavy cream. I'm going to bring this back to a simmer. We're going to let this reduce maybe 5 minutes, and then I'm going to strain it out. I want to make sure all this shrimp flavor gets really into this cream as well. I just removed this. We've been simmering about 10 minutes after I added the cream. We're going to just run this through a strainer. And that's all we want is that liquid. We're just going to let this simmer. We're going to let it reduce until we get some body to it, until it begins to thicken. And one thing that's going to help add some body to this, as well as give it a nice sheen, is adding some more butter into it. Those 3 pieces, we're going to let that melt in. And as you notice, it's just barely simmering. I'm going to take some of this leftover claw meat I had. I reserved just a little just to put in this for the added flavor. We're going to let this go, I don't know, maybe another 3 to 4 minutes. We're going to cut the heat off and we're going to call it done. Just take a real close look at that. I've already got this shrimp and crab sauce drizzled on top. Oh my God, this smells good. So we're gonna go ahead and try it out and see what we got here. I'm gonna take just a little touch of lemon, put a little lemon juice on it, just to brighten it up. But that sauce is really over the top. It is so creamy, buttery, smooth, so bursting full of flavor. Absolutely wonderful. If you ever had this in a high-end restaurant, I guarantee you, you would make a return visit back to that restaurant. So good. I know everybody can't give this a try because everybody don't have blue crab at their disposal, but I hope you enjoyed the video for those of you that can't, but actually you can. Any of this stuff can be shipped to you online. There's companies right out of Louisiana, I'm not sure about here in Mississippi, but there are places that will ship these to you. They will arrive at your doorstep, completely alive, ready to do just what I've done here. So with that said, it could be a little costly, but I hope you do give it a try. You haven't lived until you've tasted flavors like this. It's really good. So I would like to thank saltwaterwarriors.com sending me out this really cool shirt. They're sending me out the shirts to do like fishing videos, crabbing, and outdoors type things. So you'll be seeing more of those as we go. I'll have a link in the description box for them also. Please go check them out. And until next time, Smoky Ribs.